All right, everybody, welcome to the CFO Brain Trust for the Colorado region. We just wrapped up another great Brain Trust here for December, the last one of the year. And obviously, there's a lot of topics that are on CFO's mind. One of them is staff retention. Seems like everyone's struggling with staff retention at this point. But also, we've got this great panel here with us. We wanted to get together and talk about interdepartmental collaboration and cooperation. How do you get alignment to finance's vision? How do you make it so that how do you work with the organization so that they see the value that finance brings to the table? And so we've got these great folks with us here today to weigh in on this topic. And I'd like to actually start it off by passing it over to Carrie. Carrie, I think this was your critical question. Could you frame that up a little bit for us?
Yeah, absolutely. So a number of companies that I've worked for, this seems to be a continuing problem where the rest of the departments, whether it's operations, sales, marketing, supply chain, whatnot, never quite tend to be on the same page as finance and don't quite feel that finance can be an integral part of the organization. We tend to feel like the enemy and the overbearing mother. So, I would love to get anyone's input on how you've managed to kind of cross that bridge and really get some solid collaboration between the departments.
Yeah, I'm happy to jump in. Unfortunately, I'm a talker, so that might come across right now, but I think that's one of the things that actually helps me with some of the interdepartmental cooperation. My first thing that I do is I basically have stand-up meetings with various different departments. I'll have like my marketing, we have a movies buying, so I'll have one with them, both named Melissa actually. But then one of the things I think is that you have to be front and center, and it's not necessarily, oh, I'm telling you you're over budget, this or the other. It's not to have these like bad guy meetings. It's just to be there. And my question always at the end is there anything I can do to help? What can I do to help you in this? Is it helping you with numbers, helping your KPIs, like where can I lend a hand? I think that helps really build bridges and make it seem like I'm not always the bad guy. Yes, we're gonna cut your budget and that's not gonna be fun. But at the same time, we're here to help. And I think that's one of the things that's really been like helpful for me building those bridges. I think the other side is you're always gonna bring your personality a little bit to your role. So even though you're supposed to be like a pure books and numbers accountant, like I'm a talker, so I will definitely bring that side to my role. And I kind of like working those operational finance roles and helping people do better with our ratings or with our sticking to budget and all that stuff. So I think that's kind of key, like making sure you're lending a helping hand as often as possible, because then people will come to you and say, hey, I've got a problem. I think you can help.
I like that.
I would say something for myself, and I run into this actually every week. It's the best way that I've found to get buy-in from the other people, whether it's the manufacturing side, the labor side, the sales side. It's disseminating information to them, not just I'm cutting your budget. It's when they come to you for a question or I need something, it's okay, and hey, by the way, here's how that question is going to affect other things, or here's what's going on in the company. Instead of always waiting for your monthly reports or your quarterly reviews or the annual kickoff meetings, disseminate information to them on a regular basis, one-on-one directly. They feel special. They feel like they're getting something that maybe other people don't have, and by human nature, they're going to disseminate it to others, and it will work its way around. So yes, obviously don't share too confidential, but disseminate some decent information to people. And especially if you need their buy-in, tell them why you need their buy-in, what the effect of their buy-in is. And I'm not gonna lie, this works, but if they resist, show them how you can make their life uncomfortable. And then say, do you want to buy in yet? I'm dead serious. When sales calls up and they don't want to report what they're doing, or they're trying to book sales early because their salesmen are trying to get commissions. Okay, so don't process it. Well, why is my paycheck $3,000 short this month? Oh, I'm sorry. I guess I didn't process it early like you submitted it early. And oh, I'm sorry. I guess I missed 3 of your sales too. I guess you'll get them next month. Maybe you should try next time to report your sales correctly. It's amazing how fast they get on board. when they find out that you can affect them in a negative way if they're not willing to play ball in a positive way. You only have
I don't
to
know
do
if
it
I
once
have
or
the strength
twice.
to pull that one off, but I imagine it works very well.
It works fantastic. You only have to do it once or twice. We all have to punish our kids once in a while, right? We all sometimes either get punished by our spouses or have to punish our spouses in certain ways. It's no different at work. It is a social environment. We are social human beings, and sometimes we need to be made aware of our surroundings and where we stand in those surroundings. Some people are like, well, I'm a director. That's great. You're a director, but you're in a different department. You're not my boss. And you need to understand if we don't work together for each other and for the greater good of the entire corporation, we're all going to fail and we're all going to feel this pain.
That's a good way to phrase it. Carrie, where have you found the struggles or pushback in the past?
A lot of it came around compliance for one thing. And I think like Troy said, trying to book sales early, not only does it have a financial implication, but there are audit implications. I have in the past kind of had to resort to having the auditors work directly with the supply chain team so they could hear directly and have to answer directly for what they were or were not doing. And that helped at least a lot on the compliance side. But from a business performance side, I definitely think there's a lot of room to make up. And Sean, I liked your idea. Both of you guys have really good ideas. And so I think we can try and implement some of that and see how it goes.
Yeah, let us know, because there's always something to be learned through the process. And especially our side, we don't have that same question as to booking sales early. It's like very clear. So there's no give or take. It is what it is. Add it airs when it airs. So we don't have that same issue with people pulling those strings, which is it's a nice thing to avoid for sure.
I was just going to jump in too on our side, coming in as consultants, especially this time of year, it's a lot of that, business plan, business strategy heading in the next year, budgeting right now. And this is a good time where this is most of the time departments' only interaction with accounting is when it's time to submit your budget. They have no idea. They just throw you numbers, whether they think they can hit them or not. They don't understand really why you're asking for those numbers. Mm-hmm. So when we come into these situations too, we always go to, each department head and we sit down and, as, Troy mentioned, trying to explain to them the importance of why you need that number to do your job. But we've also found good buy-in too with those department heads or managers too, of going to them saying, hey, what is your biggest frustration that you have in your department, and trying to figure out a way that accounting can help them not necessarily solve that problem, but get some numbers around it. So, whether they have to manage employees or they have to hit so many, units produced, or they have to stay within a certain cost for whatever they're doing, and saying, hey, I need this information from you to do my job. But if you do it properly, going back to, compliance side of it, I can give you reporting that you need to run your department, and it's going to make you look better to your superior or your boss. So just trying to, get inside of their brain too, and figuring out a way that accounting can help them, and it kind of turns the script a little bit, and they can really understand the importance that we're not just that person that's the oversight of saying you didn't send in your receipt, it's not getting reimbursed, but coming at them from that ally perspective of how you can help their job with the help from accounting.
Yeah, I agree.
I think, Paul, you're muted.
Oh, you pulled
Thank you. Rookie mistake, huh?
It happens to the best of us.
Well, y'all, thank you so much. That is definitely some great insights. And what's interesting is I think that almost every department has this question to some degree or the other. Mm-hmm. I think back to client success days and sales days and operations days, and it was like, okay, we need everybody to use Salesforce. If we don't use Salesforce, we don't have good data, right? So I think we all, to some extent, have these questions. And so I really appreciate your insights into this. This is definitely something I hope some people out there can take value from. Thanks for joining us in our Brain Trust today. I want to thank Bodie, now CFO, for putting this together. And we will see you all at the next one next month.
Thank you.
Thank you.